appreciate that. He did a fantastic job. We'll hear from someone by the name of Kevin McCullough. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's officially the nation's first official conservative grump, is what he introduces himself as. You're probably seen his grumpiness on Fox News, Townhall.com, C-SPAN, and CNN. Or perhaps you listen to his grumpy yet crystal clear thinking on 197 radio stations across nearly 400 cities in America. Perhaps you can read a syndicated column, or you've read one of his 2 best-selling books, Musclehead Revolution, Overturning Liberalism with Common Sense Thinking, and the kind of man every man should be. But today he's not grumpy, he's angry. He's angry that the government is taking more, doing less, and accomplishing little with your hard-earned dollars needed by your families. Please welcome Kevin McCullough.
From the land of Washington, D.C., in the shadow of one of the most important buildings that mankind has ever seen, that Capitol building right there has stood for freedom, it stood for self-determination, it has stood for everything important about what is unique and excellent about the American form of government, and today we stand in the shadow of its disgrace. It is time, Nancy Pelosi, it is time, Harry Reid, and it is time, President Barack Obama, that you remember who you work for. You may think because you have a left-of-center perspective that in some way, because you hold office, that makes you a ruler. The American people are not ruled by an individual.
That's right.
In fact, we don't have a ruler at all. We had rulers. We left them on one continent, and we've been kicking them out of other continents ever since. What we have in the United States of America, and I want to reuse this word, is an exceptional form of government. It is not just one of many different options that are on the globe today. It stands alone as a beacon of hope and light, and most importantly, truth, that the God of heaven gave us the right to self-determination. And Mr. Obama, your left-of-center, quasi-socialist, far-out-there ideas, you may think you brought hope and change, buddy, come 2010, you're going to see change like you haven't seen in a long time. Let me just say a couple of things about our president. I was the first pundit in America to predict that he would be president. I begged in my syndicated column when I wrote it, I begged everyone's forgiveness because I wanted to be wrong badly. I'm a proud conservative, but I'm not a proud partisan. I think the Republicans have problems. I think the Democrats have problems. And you know what? This really isn't about left or right. It's about what is right and wrong. We cannot continue to operate in a society where we spend more than we have the capacity to earn. You can't do that for your family. If you do that, someone will come and take you and put you in a place you don't want to go. And yet, for some reason, if there's a small D that follows your name in that building or in the one at the other end of the mall, you're given a pass on it. Let me just do a little survey here. If you were to add up all the spending that has been done in the first 6 months of this administration, what's the raw number that it would be?
5 trillion.
5 trillion is the raw, it's the closest average number, aggregate, depending on how you read the bailouts and stimulus, and believe me, I don't have time to do all the details on it. $5 trillion in 6 months. President George W. Bush didn't spend $5 trillion in the first 7 years of his presidency. We've already put that much money out there in 6 months. What do we have for the last 3.5 years? Let me just, I get tired of hearing these things on TV and nobody knows what they are, because you go to the public school kids and you ask them, what's $1 billion? I don't know, it's like $1 gazillion. We have no idea what those words mean, so let me put some hard pictures in front of you for it. If you were to spend $1 million a day from the day that Jesus Christ was born on this planet till this very day, you would not have spent yet fully $7.4 billion. Do you know how much money is left over in $5 trillion from $7.4 billion? Almost as much money as the rest of the nations used in our entire history. You could go to the moon and back stacking $1 bills multiple times. Until we gather a grasp of the concept of how huge this government has spent, and now the fact that our money is becoming meaningless, it doesn't stand for anything. You know, there's a little hamster-operated printer in the bottom of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that's just kicking out the new paper money all the time. It's deflating because there's so much that's going out there, and what's that going to do to prices for everyone that has to pay for anything, especially the poor? It's going to raise them on them. Now listen, there is some very clear solutions that have historically worked, and this administration is ignoring them. If you want to see economic recovery and if you want to create jobs faster and quicker and more effectively and raise the quality of life for everyone that you possibly can, cut the marginal tax rates! Make the marginal tax rates lower, make them permanent! But I got a better idea. How about we stop having a graduated tax program altogether? Why should I be punished if I work hard and achieve more? How about let's do this? Let's end the most discriminatory tax system on the planet. End it! So how do you do that? How many of you like a flat tax? I'll go for that. How many of you like a fair tax? Hey, President Obama, take your pick. Either are better than what we've currently got. And how about we do this? How about we lower that tax rate to like 10% annually? How about we do that? We create more massive economic explosion than you've ever dreamed of in America, and we would see unemployment go from 10%, 11%, 12%. I mean, how bad does it have to get before he gets in line behind Carter? I mean, this is really getting out of hand. Cut the marginal tax rates. Give us our money back. Let me decide the choices for my family, economically, spiritually, faith-based, culturally. Give me control of my life, President Obama. That's all I ask. Michael Johns is an excellent man, and I'm so thankful for his words this morning. What he said is true. This movement is the most dynamic movement in America today, and it's because you don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to be a part of it. You just have to understand that what the government is telling you is 100% not true.